Hello guys, this is the second part of the Crypto.com's NFT marketplace. If you haven't watched the first episode or the first part, you should click on the link on top of this video. It will take you to the first part, and you could watch it there and continue to this video for the profile section and the NFT asset page. It's going to be the profile. So the profile I'm decided to do is new kid, because when I was designing the project on my this is the one I chose. When I was designing the project on my client side by myself for this video, I've used his page to create our project. So I'm going to stick with this guy, and actually I love his NFTs over here. So we're going to do this page with this tab over here, with this section on right. Then we move on and do this page, minting page or marketplace page, and do all of this, do these sticky ones. We're not going to deselect edition, but we are going to implement this one as closest as we can. So let's go ahead and create the profile section. Okay, for the profile page or profile section, we are going to come over here. Let me actually remove this test. And in here, inside the pages, I will create a new file called profile.js. It will be a path, and it will return a React functional component or React component in general. I'm just so used to say React functional components. And in here, we could just go ahead and say, I don't know, this is profile. And let me save it. If we navigate to the profile, you can see that we see this is a profile and it's actually working. So I will come here inside our src and components. I'll create a new file called profile.js, and it's a React functional component before profile. And let me see. Okay, in here for profile, we should come back in here inside the path and use that profile component that we've just created. So profile, and return this one. So what seems to be the problem here? Nothing. It just needed a refresh. So let me come in here, navigate to profile. In here, for the profile, we need these elements right here. We need a cover or cover art or anything. You want to call it cover image. We need the profile image here. Then we have two sections. The left section, which is going to be top when we hit the smaller sizes like mobile sizing or even the tablet sizing. We have the description here or the bio. We got the username. This is the name, this is the username, I guess. And we got the socials here, we got some stats over here. It's kind of like Instagram. And in this section we have a tab of items which we will create in this video. So let's go ahead and do the cover first, or actually implement the profile itself. So I'll close all of this, we don't need them. For profile, we need to create a new folder, or actually we don't need it because there's not that much of element that we are going to use. There's only a tab, which there's a tab, there's the grid, and there's the NFT item. We already got the tab, the grid, the NFT item, and on the other hand, we are going to create the tab in shared project, so we don't need profile project here, profile folder here. So For profile, we need the image from Next. We need the colors and devices from theme. We need because there is only two socials here, the Instagram and the Twitter. We will only import those. So BS Instagram from React icon slash bootstrap or BS, and here we got the GR Twitter from the GR. And then we need the grid and the NFT card. It's inside the style and NFT. We need the grid. And we need the head. We've used head in here. And we are going to use it again. Just simply by using head, you get to write something in the headings or in the head section of your page, where you could set the title, you could import anything, you could link stuff, and etc. The such usual things when you create a regular HTML page, HTML document. But since it's React and we are working with the components here, we should access we are using NextJs here. We should access the heading section using this. So in here we need something called tab and tabs. We will get to them in a second, but I just wanted to mention that tabs are going to be in this section because they are shared, and we could use them anywhere else we want. So let's create the components in here. And we have the profile element, and we need the cover, styles.div, content.div, info is called styles.div. So after the info, we got something called avatar, style.span, const name, styles.h1, username, style.div, and then we got the bio, which is a p element. Then we got the social. It's a div. Stats equals to style.div. Then we get the stat item. Then we get the stat item, stat title, I guess. No, we get the stat item from the stats. Then we get the stat title. Then we get the stat value. And the stat item is a div. I usually use span for small chunks of data, and stat item is going to include itself have two other elements inside it, so I will not use span, I will use div. And in here, as always, since we don't have a backend, we should define our static variables. So I will define the let me see. I'll define the tabs here at the tab values actually. So const all tabs equals to not styled. I'm so used to typing styled after every calls. We got ID here. We got the title, which is, let me show you this one right here. Where is the main one? Yes, this is the main one. So let me copy this URL here, paste it over here. For tabs, we got these collectibles, selling and created. So collectibles, then we got the content, which I will use a div for now. And that's it. So we'll duplicate this. Four of those. Second one is going to be selling, created, and liked. So let me change this. Four. We got something here. If let me see. This guy has everything in every single tab, but if we find someone who don't have anything liked or something like that, let me see if this one has selling. Yes, as you can see, for the tabs, when someone has nothing to show here, when someone specifies nothing for the tab, we should show something like this. We already have something like this. We are going to show something exactly, not exactly like this. I'm planning to change the text and add some emojis, but the point is, when we provide the tabs with some content, we get to show the content. But when we don't want to show, we don't have anything to show, we could just type that we are going to create a tab item. We have the tab, we have the tab, which is the tab which is a container for the items, and we have the tab item. So whenever we give a tab item a child, it will show that, but when we don't give it a child, it will show something like this and says some error or something, type something and says there's nothing to show here. So now that we have this, we just going to stick with it for now and go ahead and use the elements that we've just created. So, and actually style them after that. So first we are going to use the head and change the title. Keep in mind, if you are going to work with SEO, and actually you should keep SEO in mind, because we are already using NextJs, and one of the main action, and actually one of the biggest reasons that people use NextJs is to be able to get good SEOs and server-side rendering. So there's some elements like description or the tags or the title or something like that, which you could set inside the head section. So for example, here you could do some description, add some description meta tag with the type of description here. So when you are using your web page or publish it into web, the search engines use those values, and when you're sending a link to someone else on the social media like Telegram, Instagram, you get a preview of those links. Those are fetched from this section, from the head section and the title and the description and etc. So make sure you always consider the SEO and this kind of meta tags and value them. So for the title, I will paste something dynamic here. You could just, this is a profile section. You could do some get props, get static props and something like that with the pages on the Next.js. But when you do that, you could get some values and show them in title. For example, show the person's username in the title. But since we don't have that, here, I will use some static values in here. So I'll say username and I will give it a default value of new kit, something like this. So you can just come in here and use that username. Let's say crypto.com, for example, NFT marketplace, and the username, something like this. So if I hover over here, you can see that new kit is on the title. After that, we use the cover, which got an image inside it. It's RC. We use some static values, images, cover, and new kit, PNG, width of 444, 0, and height of 480. And set the layout to fill. As I told you before, you could search this one in next image section and see what every layout does for you, and right in here the layout. When you set it to fill, it will grow in both X and Y axis to fill the container. So let's get back in here after cover. So let me bring this one up. And okay, we got the cover over here. Then we get the content. I divided the page to two sections, cover and the content. Then we got the info, which contains the avatar, which got an image inside it. It's RC. Another static image here. Images, avatar, new kit, that's PNG, width 150, height 150. After the avatar, yeah, we got the avatar over here. We get the bio, or the bio, not the bio. Get the name, then we get the username. Actually, we are going to use an icon in here, so I'll import it from Bootstrap. PS fill patch check fill, that's it. And here, and save it. Just like that, and get back over here. What do we need after the bio? So bio goes here. Let me grab this one. I will actually paste it like this. If I go ahead and paste it like this, you don't get to see the spaces or enters or anything like that. But if you go ahead and place it inside this, you could go ahead and set the white space pre-wrap on the bio, and you see every enter, every tab, every intent, and some other text manipulation like that. So after the bottom or the bio, you get to use socials. Href gr Twitter, and same for the Instagram. PS Instagram. There is the socials. Then we get to stats. stat item, stat title, with likes, then the stat value is 3.8k. Let me grab this. This one's going to be views, 84k. Created 12 and minted 1.2k. and I will save it. I don't think we see them. I think we don't see them because they are in here because of the flex nature of the parent, but when we go to styling, we should be able to see them. After that, let me see, what do we need here? Okay, and after the info, inside the content, we are going to use the tabs here. So I will just type in tabs here so we can keep that in mind. But before that, we go ahead and style these items in here. For the profile element, we're going to use the background color of white, and background color also colors.white, color goes to colors.black, and display to flex, and the flex direction is going to be column. Did it change anything? Yeah, there's a problem. Yeah, when you set that to fill, you should remove the width and height because it will fill itself no matter how much the size is, and these two are practically useless here. So let's get back in here. For the cover position is relative, width is 100%, overflow is hidden, height is 100 pixels, media devices dot laptop, its height of 300 pixels, just like this. And yes, we can see the text and items finally. So for the content, let me give you presentation kind of stuff about this. The main idea is we got two main sections here. First one is the cover, then we got the content here, which includes this avatar, and then the next step is inside the content we have two sections. The content is a flex. When we are on this larger screens, the content is a flex which contains this area which I'm showing with the mouse, and it contains two sections. The first one is the info, and the second one is the tabs. So when we get to smaller sizes, the flex direction change, it's going to change from the row to the column, and yet after that this section is going to be on top because it's the first element, and this section is going to be on bottom, so we get a responsive looking for our profile section. So let's get back to the coding. I just wanted you guys to know that what we are doing here, so you guys don't get confused. And when you see a page for first time, it's very important that how you destructure the page, how you kind of split it into smaller areas and analyze it. And keep in mind that you could use the inspect section from the Chrome. It's pretty useful, and you can get a good idea about what's in the page and what is being done. So I think they had the same idea kind of when they were doing this. So let's get back over here for the content. We set the position to relative. Or sorry, for it, that was for the cover. For the content, we set the display to flex. As you can see, it's already flex, and flex by default is row flex. The flex direction is row. We set the flex direction to column, because the code we write here is targeted to the mobile, kind of the smallest screen you can get. That then after that, when we use the media queries, we go to the upper level. So we are here in mobile section. Anything before laptop, then when we hit the laptop sizing and the greater than that, because we don't have any other media queries in here. So other than that, it's going to stay this one. But when we gets lower than this value over here, or the laptop sizing, these ones get applied. So by default, we are in the mobile, so the display should be flex direction. The flex direction should be column for the flex. So the two section gets in a one column. Align items. Or actually, we don't need the align items here. We need the padding 0 to rem and the gap of 2 rem. Then right when we write in here, we use the media queries and the devices. When we hit the laptop sizing, set the flex direction to row, so they will get right beside each other. So for the info, display flex direction column, align items, center, and position is relative. On media queries again, devices, laptop, we set the max width, 25% of the viewports of width, and align items, flex start, just like this. Here you go. For the avatar, it's going to be a bit tricky. So transform first, we should move it a bit up. Transform and translate y-axis minus 50%. There you go. Set the border. There's a border for it if you want to see it. This is the border here, 5 pixels, and colors.white, border radius 50%, overflow hidden. That's why I set the overflow hidden. Display flex. Actually, in this case, we could come here for the avatar and set that to fill. Layout to fill. Kinda remove those and give this element a width and height of 120 pixels. Sorry, 150 pixels. Same for the width or height. And there you go. background color is going to be white. You don't need to set that, it's just a safety. When the image is always going to fit this profile section, but if somehow it didn't get loaded or something, I want to show something here, show some color here. You don't have actually to use that, so I'll remove that. Here we fix that with the fill. For the name, there's a trick. We should pull this this section top because we transformed this one. So I'm going to use margin top of minus 50 pixels, just like this, and save it. And margin bottom to 0.5, as you can see. If I remove it, you can see it goes up and bottom. So for the username, we use the display flex align items, center, font away to 500, font size to 1.1 rem, margin bottom of 2 rem, and SVG font size 1.5 rem. The color dot primary, margin right 0.5 rem, just like that. Actually, you could use this one for the bestseller section in the previous sections. For the bio, we set the white space to pre-wrap, font size to 0.95 rem, color it's going to be black. It's actually black already, so I'll remove it. You can see the difference between this. When we use white space pre-wrap, it includes the enters or the tabs or anything. And margin 1 rem for the bottom. And we go to the socials, display to flex, width of 100%, justify content, center, same for the align items, gap of 1 rem. Then set the font size to 1.5 rem, margin bottom 1 rem, and media queries again. When we hit the laptop sizing, justify content should be flex start. Just like that. So for the stats, we use the width of 100%. Border up 1 pixel solid, and the colors is colors dot border. And for the border bottom, we use the same. It's like we are using grid. create template columns, repeat for 1 fractions, align items, center, and justify content center. We press save. We can see that it's a grid already. So let's go to the stat item. Padding is 1 rem. Play flex direction, column, align items, center, and the gap is going to be 0.025 rem, just like this. Stat title is going to be gray, so colors that gray, and the font weight for the stat value is 500, just like this. And we got ourselves this nice and easy top section. Now it's time for us to move to the tabs section. So let's check this out first. As you can see, the tabs, this image doesn't look so good, but the tabs will be right over here, and we got this section as we wanted on the left side. There's a bit margin to that. You can add that. It's it's up to you, but I will not add any margin. I prefer it this way. So let's go ahead and create the tabs here. First, inside the style, I will create a new file called tabs. That's style.js. And for the tabs, we need a functional component. Right, functional component, tabs, it's like this. For tabs, we need use state, import colors and devices. I'm going to import grid here, but I will change the naming to, or actually it doesn't matter, because I'm going to inherit something from it, and it might be a good showcase for you. You can name this whatever you want. Rather than that, it will import that from it. So I will set this to grid tmp because I want the styles from it, not the whole element. I just want to inherit the styles from it. So next step is to define the elements here. We have a header. Let me show you here from the tabs. The tabs got a header, which is this section, this tab header items, and the content which will be shown right down below it. So header, it's actually headers. Naming is up to you again. And header style, span. And after that, we need the content. So content style span or div, just like this. And now inside the tabs, we've already done the tutorial on the tabs. You could just go ahead and check it. It's on my page. I already have that on my channel, the YouTube channel, the video of NFT marketplace. We implemented the tabs there, and we are going to do that again in here. So kind of the same process. We need the state to hold the current tab, so it's going to be car tab and set car tab. Then in here is equal to use state and data, which is we will take that, which is coming from here. So data and empty, which is we're going to use that for margin top, just like bootstrap. And let me come over here. We are going to use the headers. Inside the headers, we map the data. We return some item which we don't have right now, which is going to be tab item, and d dot title. We are going to pass in this this one here to the tabs. After that, after the headers, we got the content, which will show the contents of the current tab. Just like this. So in here, we should do some logics, but before that, I'm going to create the, or actually we could do that already. We should go ahead and style those. We need to style those. So right in here, I'll move this one up. So I will get back here inside the profiles and use the tabs. Data is going to be, what's the naming here? All tabs. And there you go. If I press save, you can see that we got the headings here. So it's time to style those. For styling, we come to the tabs element. Set the display to flex. Flex direction. Going to be column. Width is 100%. And just like that. For headers, display flex. Width 100%. And gap of 2 rem, padding of 0000, padding of 001 rem and 0. So we're basically just getting the paddings, 0 for top, 0 for right, and 1 rem for bottom only. So we could just come here and say padding bottom, something like this. This will work too. And after that, we should go to the header. For the header, it's going to be a bit tricky because we are going to use the solo items again and alongside with some animations. So font weight, first of all, going to be 500. Cursor, it's going to be pointer. And the position is going to be relative. So let's now we should get going to the pseudo elements. After content is empty, position is absolute, and transition, it's actually, let me double check this here. What's the global transition? It's all 0.3, but I want to set it on is in out. Left is 0, bottom is 0. width is the width depends on the prop value of active. If it's active, then it should be 100%. If it's not active, it should be 0. The height is going to be 0.2 rems. And let's see. We need to set a background color of this gradient over here. So let me go to the button again, grab it, get back here and paste it over here. There is no border radius. I think it's a square on the edges, but I will use some border radius here. 20 pixels. Transform, translate y of 500%. So it will move it a bit to the bottom. We cannot see any of those because none of these are currently active. So I'll do the active to it. Or actually, let's see active, then go ahead. And it's active already. All of them are active. But let me see the header. Maybe we should wrap those in header. So if I save this, so give it a bit more margin, so like this, you can see we got them all. And if I remove this, I hope we get the animation. Yeah, we get the animation. You can see that over here. So that's working fine. It's time to go ahead and define the tab and the active over here. Or we can do the unclick for now here. So when we click on any of those tabs, we should check to see if the current tab .id, if it's not equal to this tab that we are seeing here, just set the current tab to this tab that we have over here. So, and you should give it a key here for the header is equals to d.id, and active is going to be this equation over here. So if the current tab ID is not equal to this, it will return true. Or actually it should be equals. If it's equals to this, it means we are on the current tab and it should be active like this. As you can see, it's working already. We don't see this because there is no content here. If I go back here and type something like 1, 2, 3, and 4, we should actually, yeah, we see something here while the tabs change. So after that, we should go ahead and create something called tab itself. So create a new file called tab.style.js. For tab, we need a React functional component. And I will import the colors. I forgot to come out of this. And in here, get the children. And right in here. Before that, we grab this. We should return and JSX here. So I will grab this one. We check the children first. If we have a children, we return that children. And else we return tab element. It's TBA, not fix it. return tab element. With nothing to show, and we could use some emojis here. This emoji, and should style the tab over here. But what this basically do is these children, whenever you call something in React, as for example this one, and everything between these two tags, if you got opening and closing tags, is a children. So either you're using a tag like this, for example, tab element, you close a tag at the end, there is no children here. But if you use something like this, everything you include in here is a children. So if we have a children, just return that. These two are React fragments, and they do not create any elements. They are just here to create a block, kind of block here. We return the children, and if we don't have any children, we just return this nothing to show. It's actually the same part I showed you, and I said we are going to do that. Some emojis, and there you go. So, and border radius. Let me see if we have that page open still. I don't think so. Let me see. Yeah, we don't have that. We closed that, I think. Yeah, we did that. So border radius, 10 pixels. So if I come here, let me change this so we can see the changes. We have content for the first font for the collectives, but the others are going to be tab, just like this. Just like this. So if I go on any of those, you can see we have nothing to show. It will show nothing, but when we have something, it will show that. So inside the tabs, and the next one is going to be background colors dot gray bg. You can see that we get the background here, and for the border, 1 pixel solid and colors border. Display flex, justify, and content center, align items center, colors that gray, gradients gray, and padding is 50 pixels. We press save. Yeah, there you go, we got this. When we have nothing to show, we say nothing to show. When we have something, we show that. We go ahead and show that already. So this is the tabs, and right in here, everything seems fine, but we should go ahead and do the content section. So for content section, we need to do some, let me see. Actually, we have a content here, so I will set the padding for the content, and that's all. There you go, 1 rem for the padding, and that's it. Now we should get back to the profile section in here and edit our values here. So basically in here, I'm going to, let me check, do we have the grid here? No, I don't think so. So I will use grid in here and map in the NFTs. We don't get the auto import, so we have to import that manually. From info. Actually, let me see. It should be inside something like this. And right down here, NFTs dot map FT be returned NFT cart. Key is going to be NFT dot ID. The item is going to be NFT. And if I save this, do this again, there you go. This is kind of awkward here. You could go ahead and do some stylings. You could, for the NFT card, you could just go ahead and give it some custom props and toggle it. So I don't know, you could go ahead and give it the props like light bars, and when it's true, check it over there and change the colors for those. So the main reason I was hesitating about this one right over here for the brightness was this. If we comment them out, you can see that we get this here, and it's kind of beautiful done. So we will comment those out. And if we get back over here, I think this profile page is over. Let me check that. Refresh the page. There you go. It's over, but the main problem here is this one. So we should give it some margin top on this grid. Or actually, we don't get the margin top, so let's go into grid. Let's see what's the problem here. So we don't get any margin top here. And let's check the tabs. Yeah, we have the margin top over here, but we are not using it. So for tabs, empty is equals to empty. And in here, for tabs element, we use that as margin top. And use this p.empty. If it's available, just use that. Empty. And if it's not, do not use it. Just like that. So get back here. Set the tabs. And I think we could give it some margin here. Yeah, we give it a margin of empty program. I press save. Yes, there you go. And this is the page that we wanted. Yeah, as you can see, none of these tabs show anything because we didn't give them any content to show us, but the one that we gave shows us this. So if I make it like this, you can see it switches to 2, and as soon as it switches to 2, you can see that this one changes styling and becomes like this, and the tabs and everything is working correctly, just like this. So no problem here. It's time to move to this page, which is the NFT page or the item page or anything you want to call it. So let's go ahead and do the asset. I'll call it asset page. So do the asset page. Okay, now we have to create the assets page. So let's create a new page over here called asset. Actually, it's not a good idea to build something like this because we are already in NextJs, and we could go ahead and say something like a new folder called the folder assets, and Actually, I've created a new file. New folder. Assets. And inside this folder, you could create your custom assets. For example, I could say something like this. Some id.js and type something in here like item and a 2. And when we navigate to this assets and some ID, you can see this one over here. But the problem is when you're working with Next.js, you kinda don't want to use static stuff because we already have access to backend and we could fetch some data and render it before we even give the user the page. So you could do something like this. If I come over here and inside the assets, I could use dynamic routing or something like that. New folder. Place anything you want in this. I will call this asset ID and the JS. And as you can see over here in sec, I will call this one asset. And actually, it doesn't matter for now. And in here, you could get the asset ID and show it here. But it's not just like that, because in Next.js, you should do something called let me see, it's get server side props or static props or something like that. When you're doing something like this, that you have to configure those for this page to be working, but it's not our main target here. So I will create the assets outside this boundaries, just inside the pages. Like we have one static asset just like that. But the point is, when you create that one static assets, the only thing you have to do is just to configure the routings and just give it the data, and it will show you just the same results. So I will remove this too, the folder and the file inside it. New file, or we create a new file, call this asset.js, and asset.js will return this asset that we will be creating in here. So new file called asset.js, and we need a new folder for it. Inside the asset.js, I'll create a React functional components and return it here. Just like this. And maybe we have to rename this to asset page. And if we navigate to assets, or the asset here, we could see that we are here. So let me type something. Here we get the value over here, so no problem here. Inside the assets, we have some sections which I will show you right now. We have these two sections, this main section here, and this right over here. All of this, as you can see, is going to be separated from this. This whole section is going to be inside a div, which is a display flex, and it contains two sections, the left and the right section. As you can see over here, this is the right section. And after that, we have a sticky bit here, and on the left section we have the image. It's kind of pretty simple. So let's go ahead and do that. We need the image. We need the colors and the devices. We need some icons here for this ones over here. Let me show you these icons: the eye, the share, the heart, and the dot, or the menu icons, alongside with this link icon here and this icon, the arrow left. It's not an arrow, but everything it is, it's to the left. So hi out line text raw link from React icons hi port AI caret left. It's caret left from React icons and AI. Then we import IO and the share alt from React icons slash IO. Then we need the heart I and the 3 dots. BS heart fill BS fill I BS fill I fill BS 3 dots, and all of those from React icon slash BS. We need the tabs and tab and the tabs. And we need to import the head here again, just like this. And we need some other elements, but we will define them when we get there. But before that, let's go ahead and create these components that we need in here. We have the asset element already. We need something called section container. The div. We need the left section, which is a div2. We have to create the right section too. Image element style dot div chain link equals installed dot a. And then we have the right section. We have the back button. So const back button style.span. We have the top buttons. Is div. It's a container actually. Likes button. It's a div2. Then we have the views element styled. It's equals it inherits from likes button. Share button. And the more button. Then we have the author container style dot div. Then we have the avatar element styled div. Again, they have the creator label style dot div, or actually it's a label. What seems to be the problem here? Yes, there it is. No, there's not a problem. I thought I misunderstood it. I thought it's something like another element, and I thought the naming is causing the error. So we have the creator label, we need the username. So username elements style span edition element style dot span title style h1 market place style dot span again. We have the accept or AC upper label span. Have a description is key. And then we have the tag container. Which is a div. We have the tag. Just like this. And we need the alt tabs again because we are going to use tabs here. So ID 1 title. Let's see what's the titles here. Okay, we don't have the tabs here. That's weird. Actually, there should be a tab here because here, let me see. Yeah, there is a tab over here, ownership history and bids and offers. But when we minimize those, yeah, it's already in here. It's bugged in here, I think. Let me refresh it. Yeah, I think it was bugged. No, it's sphere is still in the profile, so it should be in marketplace. Now we have the tabs here. That's working. So the first one is ownership. Content to bottom of div for now. We're going to grab that. Okay, bits. Story. And offers. Just like that. So this one over here, we will use an extra or separate component for this. Same for this sticky bit over here, and this one edition. Select edition. So we are going to create those three outside of here. So let's go ahead and start these elements first, then we go get to those items in second place. But before that, we should use them actually. So inside the asset element, I'm using the head again. NFT item. You could assign everything here. Assign everything that you want in here. Then we use the section container. Left section. Got the image element. Then we got the image. It's RC. Static values again, images, NFT, and king.png. Layout. It's going to be responsive. Width is 100 pixels or 1000 pixels. Same for the height. Then we get to use the chain link. What's the text here? So wait a second, I didn't copy that. There you go. We have the HI outline extra link. I think there's a problem here. Yeah, this one is not right, I think. HI outline. It's external link, not extra link. External link. There you go. Let me press save. It's right over here. We cannot see that. Let me set the color to set the background color here. Background color to color.white. And now we can see that. After the chain link, this left section is over. Now we go to the right section. So we have the back median. So let me bring this up. Right in here we got the back median. Then we got these items here. So for back median, you're going to use AI with caret left and back. Then we get the top section or top medians. Likes btn equals to BS heart 710. Then we get the view element, views element, BSI is fill and 6177. Then we get to share video. We get the IOMD icon and share. And then we get to use more BDN. Yes, 3 dots. So after that, after the top BDNs, and like we got, as you can see, we got the items right there. Now we get to use author container. Inside the author container, we use the avatar element, image inside it. It's RC images, avatar, no kit width is equals to 50 pixels. Same as the height. And then right in here, use span, creator, label. And then the username. Just like that. Then we got the edition label or element. 371 editions minted. Then we have another span. Title King Bitcoin. And market space. Which is this one. After that, we got the AC offer. When I was doing this project, there was a label over here which said accepting offers. So I've based the whole project on that. I didn't see something like this, so I didn't code that. But it's not an easy task to achieve. Just if you've seen all the videos to this point, you already know how to do this. The only thing you might struggle with is this timer over here. So it's just a search on the internet, and I'm planning to do some small tutorials about this extra details on the project. So no worries here. I will use the accepting offers here. And accepting offers. Then we get use the description. And description is this one. Then we get to tag container, tag crypto, and just like that, we got the tag of the crypto here. This is how far we've defined our elements. Actually, we have something here down here after the tag container, which is this one, addition selecting, and after that we got the tabs. So I will use the tabs over here in the right section. So tabs empty equals to 1 rem, data or data is equals to all tabs. So just if I save this, you can see we get the tabs over here. So there you go. Actually, this should be fine. Now let's go ahead and start styling these items. We start with the asset elements. So for the asset elements, we've already set the background color to white, so color is that black. Padding 1 rem. Display to flex, and flex direction is column. So let's use media queries again. When we hit the laptop sizing, padding will be 1 rem and 50% for the size. Next, we got the section container, plate flex, gap 2 rem, flex direction is column, media. And then we hit the laptop. Flex direction should be row. Okay, after that we go to the left section. Set the display to flex to 0.7 rem. Flex direction is column. Gap is 1 rem. We have the image for their radius to 30 pixels, overflow to hidden, get to the chain link, their radius 5 pixels, display to flex, justify content, space between font size is going to be 1 rem, font weight 500, align items center, border 1 pixel solid, and color is going to be border. And at the end, we set the padding to 1.5 rem and 1 rem for the side, just like that. Now after that, if you go to the right section, flex direction to column, gap to 0.85 rem, and flex to 0.95. So top videos, where's the top videos? Or actually, for the back video, color is going to be colors primary, display to flex, width to max content, cursor to pointer, align items center. Let's move to the top videos. Display flex, gap on them, align items center. Then we set some values for SVGs. Font size 1.5 rem. There you go. And actually, this one is the problem with this alignment should be fixed in here. So for the like button, We set the display to flex, align items to center, and gap is going to be 0.5 rem. And this one's gonna inherit from this. But the last one, we want the last one to be stick to the right, so give it a margin left of auto. Just like that. For the author container, display to flex, gap 0.5 rem, span, we target the spans inside this element, set the display of them to flex direction to column, gap, it's going to be 0.25 rem. For the avatar element, border radius 15%, overflow is hidden, width is 50%, or 50 pixels, sorry. Then for the height, for the creator label, color is going to be colors.gray, I think. Yes, it's going to be gray. Font size 0.9 rems. And username doesn't need anything. For the edition, we set the font weight 500. Title, font size 1.7 rem. Display 2 inline black. And margin right. Bottom. I set that to inline black because I want this marketplace to be in the same line with this one, because when you use H1 or heading tags, they force the item next to them go to the next line. But I don't want that to happen. I want it in the same lining. So you can actually, if you place the H1 besides another item in a flex, it will be forced to stay in the same height or same line, but by default it will push the other items to the next line. For the marketplace, we should style it as this one here. So border is going to be 1 pixel solid, and the color is colors dot gray. Border radius 10 pixels. Padding is 0.2 rem and 0.5 rem. The font size is 0.9 rem. Font weight is 500. And the color is colors dot gray. So for the accepting offers is kind of the same as not for sale. It's a great title. So font size 1.2 rem. Font array 500. Color is colors dot gray. For description, we set the white space to pre-wrap. And for the tag container, we set the display to flex. We give it a gap of 0.1, 0.5 rem. And we go to the tag. And for tag, we have border 1 pixel, solid. Colors, that's black. And border radius of 5 pixels. Padding of 0.5 rem. Font size of 0.9 rem. Font weight of 500. Just like that. And it should be these items for this page, but now we should go ahead and create this sticky bit. There's edition selector and this item inside this ownership item. Yeah, there is a history. When I was doing this, there was no history, so I had no idea what to do, so we will just do this one here. In order to do that, I will come inside the asset, new file, and call that actually I'm going to do edition here, edition selector first. So I will call it edition selector, edition selector.js. And I will include it here. Edition selector should be right after the tags and before the tabs. Edition selector. Yeah, there you go. And we close the profile. In here, we need the icons, chevron icons. So yes, chevron up, I think. Yes, up and down and the right. We need the colors too. So for here, we need btn container, which contains these two. Actually, I will use div here. Now, top btn is equals to styled with span. Const bottom btn is equals to same one, top btn. They inherit the same stylings. Const edition info style div. We have the edition label, span, min date, mint date is called suspend. We have the select edition. Styles A. That's it. Now let's use them all. We have the bottom container. We have top boolean. Inside we have BS chevron up. We have the bottom boolean and it's chevron down. And actually we could use one item here, so I will call it arrow boolean and place it with these two. It's going to give us the same results. And then we got the ed info. Edition label. Get the mint date, which is minted on 29 January 2022. And we have the select edition, which is a link. We use the text, then we use the chevron right. Just like that. And it's time to go to the stylings. For edition selector element, this one, set the display flex, border 1 pixel solid and colors dot gray, or border. Align items, center, gap 1 rem, padding right 1 rem. So bottom container, play flex direction to column. For obedience, set the cursor, pointer. Width is going to be 2 rem. Same as the height. Border right 1 pixel solid and colors dot border and bottom. Actually, the reason we have 2 of those, let me rename that, because they are going to use separate kind of the borders. One of them needs the border to be on bottom rather than the actually on the, let me see, on the top, I think, or something like that. If we use this for both of those, they both get the bottom, the borders. We should this disable border bottom for this one. Set this to none. That's why, yeah. If I don't do that, you can see we get an extra. It doesn't show very well, but as you can see right now, we get an extra border there. So we don't want that to happen. Now display to flex or align items center, justify content center, and font size 0.8 rem, just like that. Okay, let's go to the ed info. Set the flex to 1. Display to flex direction to column. For the edition label, we set the font size, font weight actually, 500. For the mint date, the color to colors gray, and font size 0.9 rem. Then in here, for the selection, select edition, color is going to be dot primary, colors dot primary, display to flex, gap 0.5 rem, and align items center, just like that. As you can see, we've implemented this one over here, right in here, and it's kind of bigger than this one. We can go ahead and change the font sizing here like this. That that's gonna make it better. Maybe I'll change it to 95. That's better by me. And the next step is going to getting back to the assets, and we should do this item, the ownership item. So for the ownership, I will create a new file here. Let me close this. New file called ownership item. Let me grab the name. Paste it over here, ownership item. Type something. Actually, ownership item, we are going to use that in here. Something like just one single item here. You could pass in a list or carousel or anything. I will just pass in one single item because we don't have any more items here. So ownership item, and what seems to be the problem? Let me save that. Actually, nothing. It was kind of saving too late. Okay, remove this. We should import an icon. And the outline content copy from React icons MD. Let me see if that's working. Yes, it is. Then we need the image. And we need the colors. Now that we have those, we should get to defining the elements that we need here. So first one is going to be avatar. Avatar element. Without span. Then this one is going to be a div. It's info. We need more owner element. Which is a span. Username element. It's span 2. And address element is equals to style that it could be span 2, but no problem here. So let's go ahead and use these items. Avatar element contains an image. RC images. Avatar depth row. JPG. And width of 45 pixels. Use the same amount for the height. Now we have the info. Owner element. Username element. I'll save that. And after the info, we got the address, which I'll grab this address over here. You can see. Actually, I'm going to cut this one. There is a trick you could use here if the address passes some a specific length. You could check it over here and show only a bit of it, slice or kind of trim the text and show the area that you only want. So after this, we need MD outline content copy, just like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and style those. For the ownership, display to flex, gap to 0.5 rem, align items to center. Then we go to the avatar. Width is 45 pixels, same as the height. For the radius, 50%. Overflow hidden. Info, the display is going to be flex. Depth 1. Gap 0.5 rem. Flex direction, going to be column. The owner element, font size 209 rem, and the color to colors dot gray. For the username, I'm going to use the font way. $500. And for the address, set the color to colors dot gray. Display to flex. Align items center and gap to 0.5 rem. Just like that. There you go. It's the item is working here. Let me just remove this ones and give them some tab element. So if we go on them, we can see there's nothing to be shown here. The next one is going to be this sticky right over here. So we should create a new file here. New file. I would call it bid sticky the JS. For bid sticky, we need an image. We need button. We need the colors and devices. On the theme file. So for a bit sticky, we need two sections here, right over here. When we hit some specific sizing, the left section should be set to display none, and this one should take the whole place. So that's the main idea. If we have a left section, it's a div, and we are going to have a right section. And in here, we do the thumb element for the thumbnail here. And this one should be span. That's spap. It doesn't make any sense. Info. Then you get the edition element. Then we have a title. Is a span. We have the right section, which we have here already. And we need two more buttons. So first one is going to be place bid btn, and it inherits. Actually, we need only one button, and in this one inherits from button. This one is text element, and it's span, just like this. So now we should use those. Left section, thumb element, image, rc images NFT peaking.png. Width is going to be 80 pixels. The height is going to be the same. Info edition element. It's a no, it's not this one. Let me see. It's edition. This one. Edition 17 of 371. Title. It's going to be King Bitcoin. Now we go to the right section. And place bit Bitcoin. It's a bit. And we got the text element, which is this text over here. 10% royalty goes creator for future resell. Just like that. Just like that. And it's time to go and style them. Before that, we should actually use it here. I forgot to do that. So after the right section, it should be after the right section. Out of this section container, inside the asset element, we use this bit sticky. Just like that. And we go back to the styling here. So first of all, we need to get this one a box shadow. Or pixels. 40 pixels. Should be. Border 1 pixels. Solid, and there's the border. Adding 0.8 rem and 1 rem. Border radius 5 pixels. Display flex position sticky, because we want this to be sticky. When we go up and down, it should follow us like this. Sticky. When you set position as sticky, you should give it a top or bottom, or you might even want that on left or right, but top or bottom, because you say to it when it reaches like 10 pixels to top, it should stick to the target and scroll with it. And background color is going to be colors white. As you can see, it's not sticky yet because we don't have any bottom, and bottom is going to be 1 rem, and now it sticks to the bottom when we scroll. Now we should make those gets hidden. For the left section, display to none by default when we are on mobile. Flex 1, gap 1 rem, and media devices that laptop. When we hit the laptop sizing, change the display to flex. There you go. I will remove this so we can see this actually. Width is 80 pixels. So that's the height. Then we have the info. Flex direction, column, and justify content center. For the edition font, way 500. For the title, we want same. Not the same, it's 600. And font size 1.8 rem. Now go to the right. I will uncomment this one. For the right section, you should set the display to flex. Flex direction to column. Flex 1. Gap 0.5 rem. Align items center. Media devices laptop. Flex is going to be 0.6. Button should be flex 1 with 100%. Color is that it's actually white already. Set the font size 1.5 rem or 2 or even 15. That's better, or even 10 or 0.05. Yeah, that's better. I like this one. And for the text element, we give it the font size of 7 rem, 0.7 rems, and the color of gray. And just like that. So we have our sticky button right now. So let's see how does it actually work or not. Okay, here's the page. Everything seems fine. Yeah, we got this. We got the title. We got the back button. We got the chain over here. It's actually a tag, or sorry, a link. We have the tabs, and we have the sticky button. That's perfect. So let's minimize this. Yes, it's working pretty fine. And that's it. We got this one. We got the local host. And actually we could link these items. So when we click on them, or when we click on this, we go to the profile. When we click on this, we go to the asset. So let's come in here for the home page. And sorry, home page, the top, or the carousel items. Let's find them. Okay, it's already a link, so I will make it to, it's going to be profile. So yeah, if I click on them, yeah, we go to the profile. And for the NFT cards, let me see, top collectibles, where are they? And for the top collectibles, got this inside the NFT. I could just in here, just in this case, for the top collectibles, say link href asset, and pass href and an a tag in here, and then this one. So I'll get this, give it to this one, save it, and if I click on them, yes, we go to the asset folder, or sorry, the asset directory. Okay guys, so we've managed to implement the NFT section or the NFT marketplace of the, and even the landing page kinda, from the crypto.com, this site, NFT marketplace. The slider, the carousel, the grid over here, the profile page, and the item page itself. So we have them over here. As you can see, we got the slider up and running, and we got the never miss a drop or the newsletter section. We have the top creators or the carousel section, which is totally working. It's fully functional. And we have this grid over here for the items. We implemented these NFT cards exactly the way as they are in here. But there's a bit difference in sizing, but it doesn't matter to me. And we got the footer, and we got the profile section. We got the tabs working in here with some smooth animations, and we got the items themselves. So when you click on them, you can see this, and all of those aside, this design is responsive, as you can see in here. So if we reduce the sizing in here, you can see that it's fully responsive. And let me show you here or here. As you can see, it's responsive. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on the channel. I would be very happy to see your comments, and thank all of you guys for supporting me, and take care everyone.